With all the new sets LEGO releases, there are so many hidden details waiting to be found, and you're gonna see 27 in this video. Starting with something in the carpenter's workshop inside the shopping street set. There are a few ongoing projects in this workshop, but this one in particular looks a bit familiar because it's a brick-built version of the wooden duck from 1935. You see, LEGO was actually a wooden toy company before they made plastic bricks, and this duck is one of their most popular toys from back then. It's been referenced in sets before, but this one is by far the most subtle. And the workshop isn't the only place with hidden details. Out back, there's a dumpster with a classic one-piece LEGO chair sticking out of it, which is very fitting for a furniture store, but that classic chair piece used to show up in basically every modular building set. It was a staple. However, LEGO's been moving away from it and using more detailed brick-built furniture, and they basically shoehorned the announcement into this set. There's a big sale sign right outside of the store, so these old one-piece chairs are probably on clearance. And LEGO even put one in the dumpster out back to tie everything together. The designers were very particular with the references in this set, and the top floor apartment is an even better example of this. The light aqua radio is a direct callback to set 10334, the retro radio, which was designed by the same person who made this set. And inside the carpenter's cabinet, there's a watch that she bought from the clockmaker in the two-door corner set from 2025. We all know the storylines and cross-references in modular buildings are everywhere, so it's cool to see that they're keeping the same energy in 2026. However, this really nice building might actually have a rat problem. There's one right next to the dumpster with a hole in the wall, and LEGO actually shows us where it lives in the building. There's a small pad and a piece of cheese in a bay window upstairs, and it's definitely this rat, but it's actually a callback to something else too. It's referencing the rat that hid under the stairs in the Green Grocer from 2008, which is one of the most legendary modular buildings ever released. Shopping Street already pays tribute to it with all the sand green pieces, so a smaller, more niche reference is really cool too. But if you thought that was niche, the set itself is actually referencing something that only the designer would know about. This set was made by Hoang Huy Dong, who was born in Vietnam. He lived in a very small alleyway, so the architecture had to be very precise, or else people wouldn't be able to move anywhere. Dong wanted to give this set the exact same feeling, so he started it with the alleyway in the middle and built everything else around it. Even Jamie Berard, who's made some of the best sets in modular buildings, said he didn't really know how they were gonna pull this off. But they did, and now we have something that's never been seen in modular buildings. But let's move on to the Old Town set from Ninjago. This set came out for the 15th anniversary of the theme, so the designers absolutely packed it with references, including one that they said themselves should have happened years ago. The green ninja scroll, which is literally what the entire Ninjago story is based on, finally showed up in a LEGO set for the first time ever. It's hidden inside a secret compartment above the Old Town gate. Designer Lee Chi-wing said in the official interview, "When I found out we'd never done this before, I was shocked." So he finally made it happen. But the set also has a detail from one of the show's saddest storylines. Moro's kite is caught in the branches of one of the trees. This is the kite that Master Wu gave to young Moro as a child, right before his entire life fell apart because he was never chosen as the Green Ninja. It's one of the most tragic backstories in the whole show. But then the designer hinted that there's a second Moro secret hiding somewhere that he flat out refuses to explain. I'm pretty sure it's his skull hiding in the foundation of the tower, which is a big spoiler for people that haven't seen it. But a banner at the museum has an even bigger spoiler if you pay attention to the details. The curator of the museum is Dr. Saunders, who we all know turned out to be the villain Crux, and was one one of the biggest reveals in Season 7. Crux and his brother have a logo on their torso, which makes it super easy to identify them. And if you look at this banner, you'll see both hands from the clock on their torso on opposite sides of it. So if you hadn't seen Season 7 and really paid attention to this set, you might have actually been able to figure this out and spoil yourself. But the carpenter's shop in Old Town has two details that go all the way back to the beginning of the show. There's a blueprint inside recreating the scene where Master Wu makes the ninja pull his horseless carriage for training, which is one of the most memorable things from early Ninjago. But there's something even sneakier in Crux's office. There's a really small book in there that's actually the book read to Lloyd when he was a kid. The designer even called it a relic no one probably expected, and they were definitely right about that. But LEGO also dropped the X1 Ninja Charger for the 15th anniversary, and there are two really cool details in it. This actually isn't the first time LEGO's made this set. They made one back in 2014 too, and the coolest thing about that one was that if you popped the hood of the car, a motorcycle would come shooting out. So LEGO carried it over into the one from 2026. Not only does the set look way better now, but it probably works a lot better too. But what about that second detail? Well, since this is an anniversary set, it comes with the 7th and final exclusive minifigure of the year, Dusk, the Elemental Master of Shadow. She was the master of this element during the Serpentine War, and you can only get her in this set. But now, let's talk about Lord of the Rings, because the Minas Tirith set has a lot to hide. The craziest thing, though, is that the One Ring is just sitting in the base of the set. The entire series is literally about finding this ring, and yet here it is. The funniest part is that it was never in the Minas Tirith in the movies or the books, but there are actually removable walls in this set, and you bet they're hiding some secrets. Behind one of them is a Palantir, the seeing stone that sorcerers and villains use all the time. It'd be pretty difficult to recreate in LEGO since it's a shiny sphere and can change colors, but they actually did a pretty good job. They printed the Eye of Sauron onto a minifigure head and put it inside a clear dome. We did get a way cooler one in the Tower of Orthanc set, but this one still has another trick up its sleeve. Behind the throne room, there's a brick-built representation of the White Tree of Gondor carved into the wall. This detail gets completely ignored because, well, for one, the real thing is sitting outside. But for two, the rest of the set is so grand that a lot of viewers just didn't mention it. But let's move on to Harry Potter, because LEGO's been doing something really interesting with this theme. To keep people interested, they've been hiding collectible portraits in different sets. You can't get all of them in one, so obviously it makes them more money. But what else are they gonna do? Harry Potter got its last movie 15 years ago. But a set that doesn't need any hype is Snoopy's Doghouse. This scene is a classic no matter how old the Peanuts is. And funnily enough, the designer hid a fact about himself in plain sight. Snoopy is always using his typewriter, so the designer made him one in this set and put the most famous corny opener as the only sentence on it. But there's also a date in the top left, and that's the birthday of Robert Becker, the guy who submitted the set to LEGO Ideas. This set has way more than a personal reference though. The doghouse actually folds open and reveals a starry night sky as a backdrop. This goes back to Becker's original submission, where a campfire under the stars was the central idea of the entire project. So when LEGO made the set, they made sure to include it in the final design, because it was the whole reason the set got so much support in the first place. This is the first LEGO Peanuts set ever made, and there's another first ever in the Speed Champions theme this year. They just released Brian's Mark IV Supra from Fast and Furious, which people have already been waiting a really long time for, but they wanted to make it extra special. So instead of the flat silver color the wheels usually get, LEGO made them a shiny chrome, just like they are in the movie. But I can't talk about new LEGO without mentioning Pokemon. LEGO has a huge wave lined up for August 1st, and people have already spotted some really sick details. but one of the coolest ones is in the Umbreon versus Garchomp set. Now, Umbreon isn't really known as one single trainer's personal signature, but Garchomp is. His trainer is famously Cynthia, and she's actually referenced in this set. She always has these weird black and gold things in her hair, and since Cynthia herself isn't here, LEGO added them to the trophy instead. This is a pretty deep cut, and so is the detail in the new Minecraft Fox set. LEGO always hides cool Easter eggs on the inside of Minecraft animals, like the brain on the turtle and the water in the camel, but the one in the fox might be the best one yet. There's a box inside its body with a red cherry piece and an egg, and this is referencing how you tame foxes in-game. To tame them, you have to feed them sweet berries, and when you do, a baby fox is born. So the red cherries represent the sweet berries, and the egg represents the baby fox before it's born. This is definitely an if you know reference, and the Triceratops set from Jurassic World has a few of them too. Instead of red cherries, this set has blue cherries on the stand next to the minifigure, and it's referencing West Indian lilac berries. Specifically, the scene where the main characters find a sick Triceratops lying on the ground, and when they find these berries next to it, they say they're toxic. Even though the dinosaurs don't eat them, it's pretty funny that LEGO put them here with the skeleton, since they could probably kill them. But this set also has two references to the dinosaur's DNA. One of them is something that's super well known and referenced in a ton of Jurassic Park and World sets. The fact that the dinosaurs have frog DNA. In this set, you can find a frog inside its mouth, like the one in the T-Rex skeleton set, where it was in its body. It's super predictable, and unfortunately, so is the second one. Down by the tree stump, there's a LEGO mosquito trapped in amber, which is the only reason why the scientists were able to bring dinosaurs back to begin with. But if you're looking for hyper-specific references, look no further than the SHIELD helicarrier in LEGO Marvel. LEGO was showing us references before this set even came out, and everyone was really excited for the Winter Soldier comic book tile. This is issue 11 of Captain America from 2008, and it shows the big reveal as Bucky as the Winter Soldier. They even gave his minifigure in this set a faceplate that matches the cover. The tile's hidden right under the runway, but if you go to one of the propellers, there's a micro-scale Iron Man minifigure there, and he's not here for no reason. This specific propeller is on fire, and it's actually referencing the scene where the ship gets damaged. So Iron Man goes down to figure out how to fix it and uses his own armor to get it started, so the carrier doesn't crash. It's a super famous scene, so of course LEGO included it. But the other famous scene they needed to add was Loki being in his clear cell, specifically where he's able to activate it and eject it from the bottom of the ship. LEGO made a micro-scale version of it just like they did for Iron Man, and if you push down on top of it, you can eject it from the ship just like it did in the movie. But to end the video, I have to tell you about a really weird change in the One Piece sets that are coming out in August. One Piece is pretty well known for wanted posters, and the first wave had collectible ones you could get in different sets. But LEGO's actually changing that now. Now they're going to be secret dossiers, and we don't really know exactly what this means. They've shown us pictures of a poster for someone in Baroque works, which is something they've only done in the live action. But all we know so far is that the wanted posters are gone. But which hidden detail in this video surprised you the most? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.